Hello, good morning and salam sejahtera to our beloved lecturer, Professor Madya Dr. Nur Azza, and to my beloved classmate. Today, my friend Crystal Eve Daniel and I, Myra Ivana Robert, will present our project for assignment 1. Title of the study. The title for our project is CGPA Achievement Level among University Pendidikan Sultan Idris UPSI student during face-to-face classes and online classes. So our sample for this project is student from University Pendidikan Sultan Idris UPSI. For objective and significance of the study, for objective 1 we choose sign test method. A study on UPSI students' CGPA has been conducted to determine the academic performance during online classes. A study claims that median academic performance during online classes are higher than 3.8. Test whether the median is higher than 3.8 at A equals to 0.05. Next, for objective 2 is Mann-Whitney U-test method. A study on students' CGPA has been conducted to determine the performance between men and women during online classes. More than 60 students from University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, UPSI, were randomized to answer a questionnaire to evaluate the academic performance between men and women during online classes. Is there statistically significant evidence at A equals to 0.05 to show that the CGPA are not equal between men and women during online classes? Next, for objective 3 is Wilcoxon sign rank test method. More than 60 students from University Pendidikan Sultan Idris UPSI were selected to participate in a research where we want to determine the academic performance between face-to-face classes and online classes. The CGPA score are recorded before and after online classes. The following data are shown below. Test ATA equals to 0.05, significance level whether online classes improve the student's CGPA score.
The instrument that we use to collect the data for this study is we use the questionnaire or Google form. More than 60 data were collected from UPSI students.
Objective 1, sign test method. Test whether the median is higher than 3.8 at A equals to 0.05. So the data shown here is the data from the questionnaire that we conduct among the UPSI students. So the solution for this question is here. The hypothesis for this question is HO median is less than 3.8 and HA median is higher than 3.8, which is this is the claim. And A equals to 0.05. For test statistic based on HA and table, X equals to the negative sign is equals to 38 and N is the total for positive and negative sign is equals to 59. Therefore, the Z, after we calculating the Z, is equals to 2.3434. So for the p-value from standard normal table, we will get 0.9906. So for the decision, since Z test, which is equals to 0.9906, falls in non-rejection region, which is p-value less than A, therefore fails to reject H0 at A equals to 0.05. And for the conclusion, there is not enough evidence to support the study claim that the median academic performance during online classes are higher than 3.8. For sign test method, we analyze the data using the Microsoft Excel. So this is the data, and median is 3.8, number of positive sign 21, number of negative sign is 38, and is 59.
This is our objective 2, where we use the Mann-Whitney U-test method. This objective is where we want to find is there a statistically significant evidence at alpha 0.05 to show that the CGPA are not equal between men and women during online classes. This is the data for the men and women for online classes only, and the total data is 66. To solve the objective of this study, first we need to compute a Mann-Whitney U-test table and put the data for men and women and rank from 1 to 66. And 66 is the total number of our data. Identify the hypothesis. For our null hypothesis is identical distribution, and for our alternative hypothesis is shifted to the left or right, and our alpha is 0.05. This is the data analyzed using the Microsoft Excel. Here we have the data for men, and here is the data for women. To find the rank of the data for men and women, we use the formula for rank average and put the data for men. And it is the same for women. We use the formula for rank average and insert the data for women. Next, we need to find the rank sum for men and women. We just need to use the formula of sum and insert the data of the rank for men. And for the women, we use the same method. We use the formula for sum and insert the data in the rank table. Next, we need to find the value of U. What we need to do is take the value of rank sum of men and minus the total data of men and multiply it by the total number of men plus 1 and divided it by 2. And here we have 4 to 1.5, and for the woman we have 5 to 3.5. Next, we need to find the minimum value. We compare the two values of U between men and women and take the lower value. So here we have the data for men as the lowest value. Next, we need to find the mean of the data. We take the total data of men and multiply it by the total number of women and divided it by 2, and we get 472.5. Next, we need to find the standard deviation of the data. We use the formula for square root and insert the total data of men and multiply it by the total data of women and multiply it by the total data of men plus the total data of women plus 1 and divided it by 12, and we get 72.63, and so on. For our p-value, we use the normal distribution as our formula, and we get here as is 0.24. And for our test statistic, we get 0.19. So we have our value of test statistic and p-value. We can make the decision for this objective, where the value of test statistic is 0.19 and the p-value is 0.24, where here we can see that the p-value is more than the value of t. So we reject the null hypothesis at alpha 0.05. And for the conclusion, there is evidence that the distribution are not identical. For objective 3, we use the method of Wilcoxon sign rank test. In this objective, we need to test at alpha 0.05 significance level whether online classes improve the students' CGPA scores. Here we can see the total data of 66 students and their CGPA scores before online classes and after online classes. Next, we need to identify the hypothesis. For the null hypothesis, D1 and D2 are identical, and for the alternative hypothesis, D1 is shifted to the right of D2. Next, we need to compute a sign rank test table. Here, I use the Microsoft Excel to analyze the data. Here we have the analyzed data using the Microsoft Excel. First, we have the total value of the students, and that is 66. The CGPA score before online classes, the CGPA score after online classes. Next, we need to find the difference value of the CGPA score before online classes and the CGPA score after online classes, where we take the data here, 3.67 minus 3.68. Here we get negative 0.01. Next, we need to find the absolute value of the data, where here we get negative 0.01 and the absolute value of the data is 0.01, and here is the rest. Next, what we need to do is find the sign of the rank So we use the formula of sign and put the data for the difference. Here is the difference value, where 0.01, and the value is negative. So here we get -1, and here we get positive value. Next, we need to find the sign rank, where we obtain the value of rank from the table of difference, and we combine it with the table of sign. So here is the rank of 4, and the sign is negative, so -4. Next, we need to find the positive sum of the sign rank table, where we use the formula of sum if and insert the data in this value, and it is more than 0, which indicate a positive number. As you can see here, our total data is 66, but our value of n, or the total of data, is 64, and that is because the value of 0 we obtain in the table is eliminated, and this is the positive sum of the sign rank, and that is 475. For our mean, we just take the value of positive sum and multiply it with the positive sum and plus 1 and divided it by 4. For our standard deviation, we use the value of square root and insert the data of positive sum, multiply it by positive sum plus 1 and multiply it by 2, multiply it by positive sum plus 1 and divided by 24. For our test statistic, here we have -3.77, and for our p-value, we use the formula of normal distribution. The test statistic, or z-value, we use this formula, and we get -3.77 as we get in the Microsoft Excel. And for our decision, since p-value is equal to 1.99 more than alpha, and that is 0.05, we cannot reject the null hypothesis. So our conclusion is there is insufficient evidence to conclude that there is difference in students' CGPA during face-to-face classes and online classes. That is all. Thank you.